But here's somebody else. See if you can follow along with this email from Joseph, who I suppose he is from Australia. Maybe he doesn't live there anymore, but he's talking about it from years ago. But see how long it takes you to figure out who he's talking about, and then we'll talk about that person. He sent me this email. He said, in 1971, WCW of Australia, Jim Barnett's promotion, right? There was a manager called the Warlord who wore a silver combat helmet and talked like a beatnik.
Oh, Big Bad John.
Exactly. And I'll read the rest of this because it's short, and then we'll talk about it. But he said, I saw him in a 6-man tag between the Graham brothers, Mario something French, I forget. I think Mario Milano, he was Italian.
The biggest star they had.
Yeah, and Haystacks Calhoun, Abdullah the Butcher, and possibly Killer Carl Cox. So basically, those are all the big stars of that era of WCW. But he says, today, when you search for the Warlord, all you get is the info on the Warlord of the 1980s. Do you know anything about this manager? And I can see where what he's probably getting, Joseph, here, is that at some points when Big Bad John was the leader of his army, he would say, I am the Warlord. But he wasn't officially ever advertised or billed as the Warlord. So that's where the confusion came in, and I got a tickle out of it. But that started me thinking about, I don't know how long it's been. We've talked about him in the past, but we're coming up on 2026, one more year, which will be what do they call that fucking anniversary? Remember when the Bicentennial came? 200 years is a Bicentennial. What's 250 years? They have a fancy name for that?
I don't know.
Well, you could Google it if you cared enough.
I could have if I had more than a second. You said, what is it? Tell me now.
You could help me because I'm a COVID survivor. But anyway, Big Bad John, for those of you who haven't heard us talk about him in the past, it was a unique guy in the wrestling business. And you know what? We should have thought of this, Brian, when we talked recently about what managers have been bigger than the boys. Like, Dallas Page, Gary Hart, blah, blah, blah. But Big Bad John was kind of a unique case in that he broke in as a wrestler. And he was like 6'5" or 6 legitimately, and 325 or 30 pounds, and most of it belly. I mean, he had some stork-like legs. And he looked like a Hell's Angel, his long black hair and long black beard. And he wore, when he was a heel, he wore black tights and black trunks and a black top with the double over the shoulder thing. And he would wear the helmet was a combat helmet, not a Nazi World War II Germany helmet, but what are they called? Did they have the Iron Cross in World War I? Baron von Richthofen, you would think, would wear this silver combat helmet with a goddamn thing sticking up on the top of it, Brian, if you know anything more about it than I do. And apparently you don't. Either that or you're on mute. Now we know you're on mute.
It was a bit of both.
Okay.
I didn't know, and I was on mute. And now you're getting a revenge muting. I could tell.
I was coughing. I'm a survivor. But anyway, and at various points, he looked like he was in a motorcycle gang. And he did have this, wartime paraphernalia about him. So he looked like $1 million, right? As big as he was, with this mean look and the size and the promo that he was legitimately, if he wasn't the best promo in professional wrestling in late 60s, early 70s, then he was top 5. I mean, it was insane. And he had his complete own unique style. And the problem was his work was so fucking horrible that to take advantage of the way that he could cut a promo and the way he looked, they made him a manager. And Barnett made a lot of money over there with him as the leader of Big Bad John's army and fighting all the top baby faces. It was like an NWO in 1969 or whatever. But then he had always been in and out of the Memphis territory. And Jerry Jarrett had booked him in Memphis itself when he was booking Memphis while the whole thing was still owned by Goulas and Welch, and had done the same thing. It started using him as a top heel wrestler, and then kind of like it would have single matches with Big Bad John with stipulations. But Jerry Jarrett was 5'10" and 200 pounds then, 198. And John was so big, but he was so unbelievable as a wrestler. But he could get heat with the talking, and they do all kinds of bullshit. And then John would always get a tag team partner, and they'd do a tag team thing.
I have some audio if you want me to play some.
Go ahead. I want people to hear this fucking guy.
Now, this may not be him wearing the helmet and yelling as the warlord, but this is something I've always been fascinated by because he's able to grab the audience, and what he does 99% of this promo is repeat what he says a second time,
yes,
more dramatically.
Yes.
But here is Lance Russell with superstar Bill Dundee and the Bicentennial Baby.
There you go. This is where I was going anyway.
Big Bad John.
Yeah, Dundee over the belts. Had to bring these out here because, by golly, I want to tell you, we want to take the opportunity to congratulate Dundee and John.
Very much. Like Big John said, they don't belong to us. They belong to all you good people out there.
That's it.
Now,
all our brothers and sisters.
We hope you don't mind. We accept the return championship match with the Bush Ape and Roger Nature Boy Kirby. Hope you don't mind, but they ain't going to go nowhere. We keep it. Let me tell you something else. We're going to have to win one more belt someplace to get it to fit because we put them both together and they won't go around the baby's midriff.
Well, John, it was a big victory in there, and the fans were really tickled to death. And for those of you who do not know, last Monday night down at the Coliseum, the Bicentennial Baby and Billy the Superstar came flying through and took the Southern Tag Team belts away from Kirby and David Schultz. And you are coming right back with a return match.
Lance, hey, ain't nobody out here to play. Ain't nobody out here to play, and we do expect everybody to get in the ring to be able to pay. Get your dues together. Get the dues together, baby, because I'm going to tell you, we told you we're winning the belts for the people of Memphis. For the people of Memphis. Now, you people right here are the tag team champions. Y'all are the champions. Y'all are the champions. Now, I know y'all don't want to be fluffy. I don't want you to be itchy-fied because we're going to put them right back up and we're going to meet all comers. From a pound to a ton, we don't care what their race, creed, color, reputation, or how tough they are. Or how big a turkey as they get to be, or how much, now, I got to control it. There's a big old dude that has a partner named Jerry Lawler. The big old plowboy, he got his plow and his team of mules out there, and he furrowing down these rows. Well, I'm going to tell you something, plowboy. I have an open challenge. We done told you about that. And all I want you to do is get your stuff together. Get your stuff together, and if the plowboy and Jerry Lawler want a challenge for the Southern Heavyweight Tag Team belts, we ain't gonna be long. We got one match scheduled, which is back with Kirby and with Schultz. They want a return match, we're gonna give it to them. They're gonna give it to them. But now, as soon as we get through with them, if Jerry Lawler wants a piece of my body, piece of my soul, I want you to come and get it, baby. I want you to come to me and the superstar. You know something? In Jackson, Tennessee, Thursday night, the Bicentennial Baby and the superstar is going to be there in the same corner together. Now, our opponents down there, I want you to get it together. Get it together, baby, and bring all you got. Reach down deep in your soul. Get down in your pocket and get it together. Get it together, baby. It got wild and furious last time. Ain't no telling what's gonna happen this time. In Trenton, Tennessee tonight. The superstar and the Bicentennial Baby gonna be there getting it. And you know something? What we told you, we got an open challenge to anybody. So the ones that crawl in the ring with us tonight, may the good Lord have mercy on their soul, because their bodies belong to me and the superstar.
Now, one other little thing, Lance.
Well, let me stop it there before
Yes.
Bill Dundee.
Stop it before Dundee ruins it.
Lance Russell's wearing the bicentennial visor on his head during this promo. Bill Dundee does not look comfortable as Big Bad John randomly just puts his arm around him at times and leans in, but what an intense... It's almost like Jake Roberts.
Yes, and at the same time, with John, he could go over the top and be the heel screaming, and you would believe that too, because he looked like a maniac. And by the way, the Schultz that they're talking about, what they did was Dundee had just switched babyface a few months beforehand. He and George Barnes had come to the territory as heels from Australia. And when they got over like crazy, but Barnes wanted to go back home, so Dundee, as a single, was kind of floating. But Teeny went and told Jerry Jarrett, said, "You've got to do something with that boy. The girls love him." And he switched him babyface. He became the second biggest babyface in the territory behind Lawler for the next 20 years. Anyway, so they bring in Big Bad John, and he can talk, and he looks like that. And now he's come up with this fucking gimmick because it's January 1976. It's the bicentennial. It's in all the news. That's all people are talking about. 200 years. And so he's in a red, white, and blue Uncle Sam inspired outfit instead of the black and the German army helmets and whatever. He looks like Apollo Creed, complete with the red, white, and blue top hat, right? And he even had pictures taken with his little puppy poodle. I think Scott Teal may have shown, might have been Mike Shields, with this little puppy poodle, and you know, the whole thing completely opposite of this chain gang biker motherfucker. And he became the Bicentennial Baby. Big John, not bad. The bad was gone. And he would do, "I've seen the light. I've seen the light, Lance Russell. I'm the Bicentennial Baby. I love the people."
It's Jake when he found religion.
Yes, and it lasted. And at this time, I'm watching the TV live when it's going on, and they were here in Louisville, and Big Bad John, or Big John, was my favorite wrestler for like 9 weeks. And then whatever happened with him that always happened whenever he went somewhere, because remember, he's the one that we believe, as best stories have said, was found stabbed in his bathtub. All of a sudden he was gone, and he never came fucking back. But it was great while it lasted, and what they were doing there was they'd put the belts on Dundee and Big John, so Big John could talk and had the gimmick, and Dundee could actually have the match. And they beat David Schultz and
Roger Kirby.
Nature Boy Roger Kirby. And they were going into a program with Jerry Lawler, who was still a heel at the time, and had his partner Plowboy Frazier, who we've mentioned many times, the male refrigerator Jacks.
Oh my God, what about when he worked with Big Bad John? What was that like?
Well, that's the thing. It was fucking great.
Really?
It was fucking good. The tag matches. They never had the single match. Frazier was 6'10". They said 7 feet, but 6'10" legitimately, and 425 pounds all day long with the fucking giant belly. But Lawler had established Frazier as this big, giant fucking hillbilly powerhouse that would do whatever to people for him. And as long as Frazier could throw the punch, which he could, and drop that fucking leg, which looked like it killed you, and squish you in the corner, that was it, right? And then later on, when Frazier turned babyface on Lawler, then Lawler is taking backdrops for him, and he looked like the greatest wrestler in the world. But meanwhile, you've got Lawler and Dundee for the first time on opposite sides of the ring to have the match, and you've got the selling point is these two giant fucking fat behemoths, and one of them on the giant fat behemoth on the babyface side can talk. You heard the people fucking popping when he just laughed. And he, you know, the other side had Jerry Lawler, who was talking for the heels. So the tag matches worked. And if Big Bad John did one, I don't know that this survives on tape or not. But when they did the first match, then John came out the second week and he said on TV, he said about his showdown in the ring in the match with Plowboy, he said, face to face, we faced each other, stuck out our bellies and run at each other. And when the crash came and the dust fell, Tiny Frazier, the big man, was killed. But on his grave was written these words, below this stone, Jerry Lawler lurks. You hear me what I'm telling you, lads? And it just, but the look was insane of this fucking human. Nobody looks like that anymore. John Tenta, if he hadn't been quite as big and looked mean in the face, but he couldn't talk like this.
Again, you know, even to go back to the Jake Roberts comparison, if Jake had a big pot belly in the 80s, a little bit, because he's like a big, tall guy, no big arms.
But also, if you were at Central Casting and you said facially from the top of his head to the middle of his chest, get me the nation's head Hell's Angel. That's Big Bad John, right?
Well, you know what? Before we wrap things up, because this is rather short, just for comparison's sake, this is from Australia, 1973 World Championship Wrestling, Big Bad John.
Another one of your men, another one of your robots, another one of your vultures.
You know something? I guess everybody just don't listen to what I say. I know Mark Lewin has a little trouble understanding me. You know something? I've issued a challenge out here for 2 weeks in a row. I'm saying Mark Lewin. Mark Lewin, Abdullah has challenged you. And Lewin, his usual cowardly self, ain't nowhere around. Lewin's in hiding. Well, I'm going to tell you something, Lewin. You better stay in hiding because you never know where Abdullah's going to come from. He might be dressed as a spectator sitting in the crowd. He liable to be up over the ring, tied up in one of these things, dropping down on you somewhere. So you never know where you're going to come from. But one thing you can put in your book, mark it down good, he is going to be there. Sometime or another, he's going to drop in and pay you a visit, Lewin. I don't care what you do, where you go, or how you carry yourself, you still got to come in this ring. When you come in the ring, Abdullah might be in there with you. So don't be a coward, Lewin. Go ahead and fess up to yourself, boy. Get down and say, yes, I'll take a match with Abdullah the Butcher. Those are the words I want to hear.
Oh, you'll hear them, Big Bad John, and you can rest assured that whenever that happens, we'll all be there right behind Mark Lewin. And that's something I'm waiting to see. And the news, of course, you heard about it of Jack Briscoe, the new world heavyweight champion who won his title against Harley Rice in Houston in front of 47,000 people. And what a...
Well, hold on now. Hold on. I hate to say that ain't right, but that ain't right. 47,000 people.
Oh, God damn it. Help me, the commentator.
It's not Lord Leighton, but
no, but this was 1973. Barnett had sold, and who was doing it at that point?
Barnett's still.
Was Barnett still there, or is he he's about to sell and leave?
By the end of the year, Barnett's out.
That's right. But God, point being, well, the people in Australia had no way of knowing that there were 47,000 people in Houston to see that title match that happened. But yeah, that's a thing. And also, if you see the video, and if John had an aura about him that you could see he was threatening you personally. You felt like he believed everything he was saying because it was so effortless, and with that look that he had in that face that he had. So that's enough to give you nightmares, wasn't it, Brian?
It was enough to give me nightmares.
Well, in that case, you know what you need, don't you?
I know what I need.
You need a better night's sleep.
Better night's sleep.
See, that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Last has told me many times that he sleeps like a baby. He wakes up once an hour crying and screaming and pissing a bed.
Hey.
And that's not any good. You don't want to sleep like babies, ladies and gentlemen. You want to sleep the sleep of the angels. You want to sleep like you're in the bowels of the clouds. Have you ever been in a cloud's bowel, Brian?
Yeah, I don't know if that's how clouds work. I don't think there's a bowel of the cloud.
Well, there's got to be some type of apparatus to handle that, even for clouds. But nevertheless, if whatever you want to be stuffed up the ass end of, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be as comfortable as you've ever been up the ass end of anything if you're laying on a Helix Sleep mattress. I think I can say that without fear of contradiction. Can I not, Brian?
Helix Sleep mattresses, of course, very, very comfortable, and you get to pick what you get. You get to pick exactly the kind of mattress that's perfect for you.
Yes, so you don't have to be stuffing anything up anyone's orifices. You can go with one of the standard kind. They'll cater to all tastes and wishes, but you can stick to the standard mattress that just lays there if you don't want anything too responsive. And it just depends on whether you're a giant fat person or a 9-foot freak on a sideshow, or whether your children need to be in some fashion given special treatment while they sleep because they have night terrors because of the problems between you and your ex-wife. We don't want to fucking protrude in that, but
no, let's just talk about a good night's sleep that anyone can have, no matter how wonderful and uplifting your day is or isn't, with Helix Sleep.
Well, you can be uplifted or downvoted, but everybody's voting for the Helix Sleep mattresses. You go to helixsleep.com. That's HELIX sleep.com. And as we mentioned so many times, because they're our friends, they got a mattress for everybody. They'll heat you up. They'll cool you down. They got the mattress for you. They got the mattress for you. They got the mattress for you. And you just pick out, you just tell them how you like to sleep, and then they tell you, well, we got these mattresses, and you say, well, I'd like you to send me one, and they say, well, we'd like you to send some money, and you do, and they do, and it arrives at your home, and you unbox it right where it lays, and poof, it's not dangerous in any way. It doesn't explode into your face like some kind of airbag catastrophe off of a Tesla or whatever. It just kind of becomes larger over a period of not too long. And then you lay on it or do anything else you want to on it. You can eat, you can sleep, you can make a whoopee. And regardless of whether you're Mr. Whoopee or Mrs. Whoopee.
Mr. Whoopee.
You know, one of you at least is going to like it. Helix does have a mattress that's guaranteed where one of you will enjoy the sexual relations.
Mr. Whoopee was the man giving all that advice to Tennessee Tuxedo and Chumley, wasn't he?
He certainly was, and he didn't get where he was at that point by sleeping on a fucking pile of rocks. So that you got that, you've just proved my point.
I guess I have. I guess so.
Well, in that case, I'll let everybody in on how they can do this type of thing. Whoopee! You can go to, and by the way, if you don't do that, you can do that. Go to helixsleep.com/JCE right now, helixsleep.com/JCE, and check out these fine products, and then be aware that you are going to get 25% off site-wide and 2 free dream pillows with any mattress purchase. Now, that's up until January the 12th. January 13th, if you wait even that long, you're going to lose 5%, then you're only going to get 20% off. So that's something you got to consider. And that would be for 3 more days. But nevertheless, the point I'm making is right now you're going to get a big discount and a couple of free pillows if you'll shut your mouth and just get on the internet and just order you a new mattress instead of that stinky, wine-soaked, potentially urine-contaminated, if you've got kids or a pet, you can't say it's never happened, thing that you've got laying on your bed frame right now, and get something clean that smells nice. And maybe then the whoopee would be more advantageous. HelixSleep.com/JCE.